Mindcast, the Swiss startup podcast. Episode 8: How do I become a unicorn? Presented and produced by Swiss Minds. Supported by the Hightech Zentrum Aargau. Welcome to Mindcast. Today's episode is about how to become a unicorn. My guest today is Daniel Gutenberg. He's specialized on finding unicorns. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Daniel, what are unicorns?
Well, the definition of unicorn is not very old. It has been made in the Silicon Valley. And what it says, it's a startup that becomes a $1 billion company, valuation of $1 billion or above. Estimates are, my estimate is that there has been about between 30 and maybe 60, 70 unicorns in the last 10, 15 years that started in the tech world.
So is there an opposite to the unicorn? A fish.
Well, the opposite would be a lemon, meaning a startup that doesn't go anywhere and disappears again, I guess.
From the startup view, is there any way I can know that I am a unicorn or that the direction is correct, becoming a unicorn?
Well, hopefully you're starting your startup having a very big market in mind and a product in mind that 1 billion people will use, and that you will make $1 profit of every person that uses it, so that would then make you probably a unicorn. And if you have that in mind, then chances are here that you can make one. But of course, only very few companies at the end make it.
Mm-hmm. So how do you decide if a company can be a unicorn? It's very early stage, so they do not have any traction because everybody else would jump on it. So is it some sort of the complexity of the problem they're solving?
I would say it's the opposite. Usually it's easy solutions to complex problems that will make unicorns. It has to be a big market. It has to be a product or service that everybody can use, or at least 1 billion people can use or will benefit from. And it has to be something that is a factor of at least 10 times better than what's already out there and already making a certain turnover. Those are the ingredients for a unicorn. And maybe also a little bit to have the winds from behind, to be in a sector that is now perceived in the public as being important, like green technology was a few years ago, like autonomous cars are today. If the winds come, helping you, then you have a bigger chance to become a unicorn. Mm-hmm. That's why right now there's a lot of mobile unicorns in the mobile smartphone space.
How about the founders having skin in the game, and what it's meant by having skin in the game?
Well, having skin in the game is a very important criteria for me for investment. Means that the CEO or the founders are believing in it more than in anything else. So meaning that they don't mind if they are going to eat rice and spaghetti for the next 3 years to get their idea through. They don't mind to work 24 hours a day, and they don't feel it as work because they really believe in what they do, because they really want to make it happen. Mark Zuckerberg is a good example of that, who really wants to connect everybody in the world, and who is not maximizing profits. He's maximizing his idea to connect everybody in the world. So that's skin in the game, and of course, it could be somebody investing his whole fortune, and it doesn't matter if his fortune is 100 million or if his fortune is 50,000. If it's all he's got, then he really has skin in the game when he invests in it.
What is disruption in the way of unicorn? Must this be a disruptive product, or can it be a service product which just gives 10 times multiple returns?
Well, it can be, of course, also a service. eBay is a good example of that, but it has to be disruptive in a way that means that it's doing things differently. and the way eBay was doing auctioning, the way Google was in this way totally disrupting the market. At the time when Google came up, I was, by the way, the Alta Vista distributor. I didn't like Google that much in that time. Everybody was talking about time spent on the platform. So Yahoo was maximizing time spent on the platform so you could have banners and show the banners for a long time. So everybody was like trying to maximize and keep people on the platform on their pages as long as possible so they could show the advertising as long as possible. And Google was doing exactly the opposite. They're saying, hey, we just have a box, you type it in, and a split second later you're gone out onto your website that you want. So that was really the total disruption. They had a total different idea and were able to monetize it in a different way later on.
Are there any negative points where you would find out that I am definitely not a unicorn?
Well, I think you can only become a unicorn if you can explain what you got in 2 sentences or like in a very, very short amount of time. If you need 10 minutes or even 5 minutes to explain what you're doing, it's not going to happen because you're not going to be able to explain or to get 10 minutes of attention from 1 billion people. So that makes it for me easier when I look through the business plans. If I can't understand what it is within 10 minutes, it's not going to become a unicorn, and I'm probably not going to be interested.
How about scaling? Scaling prematurely, it's typically in a J-curve. You have normally this little bump where all these first movers come in and they lose interest later. And scaling prematurely is normally a killer. Is this also a killer for unicorns in this case?
Absolutely. People that make it with success, they shoot for very, very small markets. Mm-hmm. And they need to be able to prove in a very small market that they get 60-70% market space. A very good example, Mark Zuckerberg, who did his Facebook only on Harvard. Mm-hmm. You could not get a Facebook login if you had not a Harvard address, email address. And once he was able to have Harvard, a very large percentage of all the students in Harvard, then he would go to some other universities. But only a few other universities, and at the end, only if you had a .edu email address, you could participate in Facebook. And so he would like get critical mass in all those markets first before he was scaling further. And what I see very often is, like you said, early premature scaling. You do a few 100,000 turnover in Switzerland, and then it becomes difficult to do more turnover. Let's go to Germany or let's go to the US. And I think that's the wrong approach. If you want to become a unicorn, make sure you have 70% market share in Switzerland before you go, better even in Bruck, before you go to Zurich and before you go to Switzerland.
From those unicorns you mentioned in the beginning, those 30 to 50 unicorns we had worldwide, are there any from Switzerland?
No, not that I know of.
Is there any potential to have it from Switzerland? And if not, why not?
Of course, there is potential. We have great universities here, ETH, EPFL. We have lots of international companies with the World Health Organization, Nestle, whatever. And we have all the chemical companies, and we have a lot of know-how, engineering and life sciences know-how here, that it's absolutely possible that in the future some unicorns will be created in Switzerland.
Mm. So what's the ultimate tip from you to the startups to become a unicorn?
Well, have a secret, believe in it, that you believe in, that nobody else believes in. You have to be kind of unique and believe in something that others don't believe in. And you have to, they're not easy to find, those secrets, but you have to spend time in looking for them. And if you're very passionate about them, then start executing.
Perfect. Thank you very much on this insight.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
This was Mindcast, the Swiss startup podcast. You find more information and other episodes under www.mindcast.tv.